welcome. Glad you're here as we're headed to Easter here in this month of April. I'm still trying to get used to the time change. I don't do well with time change. And I'm sorry that things are a little messed up here. During the videoing of this, I've had a sick dog lately, and he's very needy. And so he's been a bit of a pain. So if you see me roaming around or you see the camera shake, that's because I got this dog who is he's just uncomfortable right now. He'll be all right. He's not horribly sick, but if you see me moving around, it's because I'm trying to keep him from climbing up on my lap. But hey, welcome to Chaplain's Moment, Doctor's Call. Again, a short little devotional to start the week to keep you focused. Last week, we looked at Matthew 6:21, where it says, "For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." Now, we're going to continue in that same vein of thought. We're not going to venture too many verses away. We're going to go to Matthew 6:24, where Jesus says, "No one can serve two masters. For either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and money." Say, John, can you pick some easier scripture? I understand. We live in a day and age of materialism. And the love of money takes hold of a life. That person's desire for money will eventually take precedence over the love for God. It's just the way of this world. It's the way of nature, the fallen nature. When a believer's wealth starts to become a fixation in his life, he will become increasingly devoted to it, which leads to an increasingly, and listen to this word as used by the Knowing Jesus website, increasingly contempt for God. No one can be slave to two masters. No one can serve two masters. One of the two will eventually dominate the desire, while the other will lose its attraction and be treated with disdain. I think Jesus spoke this word in Matthew 6:24, thinking of us in 2022. It's this modern Western idea of having our cake and eat it too. We like to think we can have our cake and eat it too, and we can't. Some translations get a little bit more exact. They say you will love the one and hate the other. Wow, strong words. We like to think we can multi-purpose. Do you know actually the human brain cannot multi-purpose? It must focus on one thing. It makes you think you're multi-purposing, but you're not. Somebody said, well, can't I chew gum and walk at the same time? Yeah, but I'll guarantee you, the chewing gum becomes a secondary action, and the walking becomes primary. You don't think about chewing your gum while you're walking. In fact, actually what will happen, if you stop to think about chewing your gum, you will slow down your walk. We like to think we're capable of doing all sorts of things. We like to think because maybe I tithe, maybe I adhere to the law, that I'm loving God. But this is a real struggle. We like to think we can have things of this world and love Jesus. Not so, according to Jesus. We got to be really careful about this. And the only way I can figure out to do it is to give it away. My wife and I have a policy that if we haven't touched anything in a year, it's going to go in a yard sale, or it's going to go to like God's Goods or Goodwill. It's going to go. If we haven't touched it for a year, if we haven't seen it or touched it for a year, it's going to go. Why? Because that means we don't need it. And we've actually gotten to the point in our life when we're realizing nothing of this world truly satisfies, so why get it? So we don't spend a lot of money anymore on birthday presents and Christmas presents. And in fact, we get each other one Christmas present. Why? Because we just don't need it. Now, I know people have asked me, well, can't I just have some fun? Yes, you can. But you still got to make sure the desire to have fun doesn't outweigh the desire to be with Jesus. And there's the easy way, as we learned last week with Matthew 6:21. There's the easy way to tell what's dominating your life. Follow the money trail. That's the way it is with anything. Follow the money trail. And you'll find out whether you're loving the world and hating the Lord, or you're loving the Lord and hating God. It's that simple of a teaching. This doesn't need interpretation. This doesn't need big theologians to come and say, what was Jesus talking about? He was talking about basic human nature. You are only attentive to one thing. Pay attention to it. All right, well, hey, thanks for being with me this day. This week, think about what are you a slave to? What are you a servant to? To the Lord or to the things of this earth? Think about it. Think about it. Hey, thanks for joining me today. We're going to stay right here in Matthew 6 heading into next week. We're slowly going to creep into Matthew 7. Thanks for joining me. And hey, I think we are into the Easter week. So hey, prepare to give God all the glory for rising from the dead coming up. Thanks again. Appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great week.